All right, welcome back. We are here for game number 2 between, of course, Worcester Polytechnic Institute and St. Clair College. This time by Worcester, going to be in the blue with St. Clair being on the red side. The early bans in this situation is actually going to be the Misfortune getting a band away while Max Chief picks up Kaisa. So no Kaisa for St. Clair this time by. Lazzy's going to have to try something else. I would imagine the Jhin would then be his next go-to as long as he picks it early enough so that it doesn't get banned again, as that is essentially his other go-to in this situation. Are still on the table there from Kubra. The Samira actually going to be the pickup here for Lazzy instead. Another champion I believe he's been talking about quite a bit. And we do also have Nunu left through the initial ban phase. So we're going to see Active Force pick that champion up. First time getting to see Active Force play Nunu in a competitive matchup. Lilia being hovered here for Worcester for this moment. It's going to be locked in, just a solid overall jungler. Makes sense. Nonetheless, here, Hex Knight, of course, still lots to pick from in his, or for his team. May not want to pick his mid laner just yet. Could possibly find himself a partner here for the Kaisa. Big Jado. Could just do Nautilus again if they really wanted to. But it's going to be the Seraphine, so this could be a flex. This could either be support or mid. So showing that right here, right now, of course, like Saints can't exactly be certain where this is going, so they're going to have to pick accordingly. Where Seraphine could do a little bit of decent damage, has some solid crowd control as well, but is also very supportive in regards to shields and healing, and Frez is going to get his Anivia. Just in case that's going up against a Seraphine in the mid lane, picks something he seems comfortable with that can just constantly keep pushing lanes. And it has to feel good after having a much better individual performance as well as like a very solid team performance. Getting to pick something you know in this situation. It's definitely going to feel good, and we are going to see the Nautilus ban come out here just in case that Seraphine was planning on going mid. Okay, interesting enough, going to see top lane ban there. I had to double check to see what the champ's name was called, but yes, the Camille. Nope, the top lane going to be taken away. Mordekaiser are going to get taken off the board as well. Interestingly enough, one more ban. We get to see how the teams decide to close out their rosters here for this second game here. Of course, best of 3. Saints have the match point pressure here against Worcester. And okay, just going to take a stab at Miensfo's champion pool here by getting rid of the Leona in this situation. But that being said, Miensfo has plenty of supports he can very well pick, especially aggressive ones, but he has, of course, done the Enchanter route as well. We do see the Lulu being hovered here by Lazzy, possibly here for Miensfo. This would be a lot more down his alley. I would be interested, and sure enough, yes, it is going to be the Alistar instead. I feel like anytime you put Miensfo on an Enchanter or a more passive support, he does fine, but then you give him aggressive support, then he's fantastic. So why settle for fine when you can get something aggressive? Okay, the set being picked up here, that could possibly be support, it could be mid, it could be top, it could be jungle, let's be honest, set can go anywhere. So that doesn't really tell us very much here in this situation. What does this last pick end up being? And it is going to be Volibear. So we'll probably see Max Chief on the Volibear this time by. Link is probably going to stick to the Zillia here in the jungle. Probably going to be Seraphine. gonna say Seraphine mid and Set support, but I could be wrong because both of those characters or both those champions can flip-flop. And the Gnar got let through this whole time. Alright, Kubra. We'll get to see you in action once again here, and I'm actually going to be completely wrong in my predictions. We'll get to see in a second in regards to Worcester. But this is just a solid control team right now for the side of St. Clair. There's Nunu being able to zone like crazy while being rather tanky. Gnar being able to zone, make plays while being rather tanky. Alistar able to make plays while being rather tanky. Anivia is not the squishiest mage in the world. It can just constantly push waves. But a lot of the damage is going to be in the hands of Lazzie's Samira. Which is a bit of a downfall here, because I was just mentioning that I like seeing like solid threats across majority of the members of the Saints for them to do well. This feels a little bit more, let's just protect Lazzie for the love of God. But we'll have to see moving forward. Alright, now the side of Worcester. Let's take a look here. Of course, we are going to end up getting that Seraphine in the mid lane. The set is going to be played by Hawkster down bot. So, in theory, could get aggressive with that, or could just play a little bit more passively. And we're going to see Big Jado. Big Jado had a fantastic last game, don't get me wrong, but just could not keep himself safe. And to be honest, a lot of that probably had to do with the fact that Misfortune is just so immobile as an AD carry. And meanwhile, something like Kaisa, you got a little bit more burst damage, you have a little bit more mobility, just a little bit better of a champion, to be completely frank. So we'll get to see how Big Jado goes here into game number 2. Link had a relatively, I feel like, uneventful game number 1. Was there making some plays here and there, but it was never like, I didn't see that big standout. Well, I guess he did steal he had his big standout moment by beating Active Force in Smite fights. He was clutch there by all means, but in terms of making the plays in regards to team fights, I felt like it wasn't necessarily there. Max Chief had a really rough laning phase in game number 1. Has himself something that he could maybe get a little bit more aggressive with. Shen did not work in the early phase, and to be honest, like, it felt more like not a paperweight, I don't want to go that rude, but like, yes, he had his taunt, he might be able to mess like one player up, but then he would just get popped, because even still, there was just too much damage across all of the Saints to really warrant making an impact. He just kept getting popped over and over and over again. Yeah, game number 2, about a minute away here. And with so much crowd control on the St. Clair squad, I feel like Lazzie's Samira is going to be able to go absolutely crazy in this match. We'll have to see, though. What do we see in level 1? Saints have constantly been passive, trying to stay safe, and in the game versus York, and now in this game, it's bit them twice. Lazzie went down extremely early in that first one after the 5-player gank down in the bot lane, or the bot jungles, rather. It's weird when being defensive seems to be riskier than just group up and go into the opposing jungle and you might be a-okay. It seems to be the way it's been going as of late. Really looking forward to seeing how Active Force's Nunu ends up panning out here as well. Because, I mean, at least if you're having trouble smiting, pick Nunu. If he still has that big bite to take a ton of damage off of a non-champion, then maybe having something like that for a little extra backup might be a solid plan there, nonetheless. Taking a quick look as we hop into, or get ready to hop into the game, just loading on in. What does the chat think about this matchup? So, y'all calling it out. You don't realize it yet, but because of course we are on the 5-minute delay. You called it right off the bat that Gnar would be good with Samira. And sure enough, it's just supposed to be picked right on here, so I expect to see some pop-offs in a moment here. But as you can probably hear, we're getting ready to hop into it. Sure enough, game number 2, right around the corner. Match point here for St. Clair if they can keep this up. Otherwise, Going to be going over to a Game 3 right around the corner. So let's finally get into it. It's going to be Game 2 between Worcester Polytechnic Institute and St. Clair College.
Seconds until minions spawn.
Bit more of a line of scrimmage to start things off here. Both teams not grouping up and going for anything too aggressive in this situation, at least as of this moment.
Minions have spawned.
Extremely quiet start, actually, going into this one. Gonna have Active Force starting on the red side, it looks like. Meanwhile, gonna be the same thing there. Forward Link. I'm also curious to see how Hawkster ends up doing here with this set support. I've seen it a couple times from like other matches, whether it be a couple scrims or maybe even a couple LCS matches even. I do believe. But of course, set does kind of rely on getting in close, which I mean, so does Miensfo, so I guess you do still have an opportunity to get in there. Just don't get poked out by Lassie. Should be A-okay. And I'm also going to be curious to see if Kubra here up in the top lane and Max Chief. Does Max Chief get harassed as badly this game compared to what happened in game number 1? It's game number 1, he was basically had half the CS. Meanwhile, we do have the snowball rolling in. Mansfolk does get a stun off, but he's going to end up going for the 1v1 versus Hawkster. Big Jado is going to go down. First blood goes over to Active Force, and Mansfield's wasted enough of Hawkster's time that he's going to be able to get taken down as well. Double kill for the bot lane right away. Active Force and Lassie walking away with the kills in this situation. And solid job there. I think that was the flash from Mansfield to start things off, which looks rather weird. I think Big Jado and Hawkster actually hit level 2 first. They're like, hey, why in the world are they getting aggressive? And they get knocked up into there, and hey, there's a gigantic snowball, gigantic Yeti coming your way. Absolutely nothing they could do in that situation. I'm very surprised, actually, that Hawkster ended up going down and didn't just beeline it towards his jungle. But Mansfo wasted enough time. Meanwhile, Kubra is going to get the solo kill onto Max Chief like it's nobody's business. Tell you what, even in the match versus York, Cooper did a fantastic job. Game 2 was a standout, yes, but it seemed like he always had that top lane under control. And he's finally really gotten the opportunity to show off here in this match tonight. An absolute threat, and okay, why not just everybody party time mid? And we have Frez going to find himself the elimination as well. Jump scare to Hex Knight, as all of a sudden that 1v1 that you had all of a sudden turned into a 3v1. You are out of luck, and now it's going to be the same thing here, but this time Hawkster's just going to let him go in this situation. There's nothing I could do, man. I'm sorry. And Lassie going to pick up his second kill of the game. Saints, if they keep this up, they are absolutely going to run away with this game. Hex Knight in a bit of a world of hurt, of course. Active Force hovering around Frez just in case. Link is nearby as well, taking down the chickens in the situation. Spotted out, it looks like, though. Or if not spotted out, a solid guess, actually, from this St. Clair squad. But what do you do here now if you are Worcester? Because, yes, your bot lane, they got completely dunked on early in this. Granted, level-wise, they're still close. And like CS-wise, they're fine. They just passed over the kills. Do you try to go bot and try to jumpstart their recovery, or do you let them go and try to maybe get one of the other lanes going? Because it's pretty much that situation across the board? Do you try to force the player? Do you let them just try to farm it out? Currently, Link. Okay, Hawkster flashes forward. And unfortunately, maybe just read the situation wrong. Try to time it out there with Link sitting there level 5 trying to make something happen, but it's not going to be the case right here. There's some big damage coming out here from Prez. The Frostbite Wombo combo. Meanwhile, we see Mansfo diving in. Hawkster going to be the one taking the heat so far in this one. Is probably going to go down. Lassie diving forward, going to be able to get and secure that kill. Third kill of the game. The bot lane able to make plays for themselves. And now they can transition on over. Active Force is actually already at the Dragon. They can help assist him there with that. And there goes Hanar once again. The moment Max Chief tries to get aggressive, all of a sudden, he just gets completely turned around upon, nearly losing it. And yeah, Dragon going to go over uncontested in this situation. Active Force going to clean that one up. And this is scary if you're Worcester fans here in this situation, because it feels like the psyche of the team is just absolutely shook in this situation. Game 1, to be honest, Game 1 was still like a back and forth battle. Just a couple of team fights just did not go their way near the end. But now, the way this start happens, it feels like the confidence is just lost. And Hawkster, oh gosh, he's going to have to try and flash on over. Otherwise, he's going to be absolutely toast. I swear he just hopped onto the rock of the wall. That's looked a little bit interesting there, but nonetheless was able to keep himself safe from the gank in the pit. And now, of course, does not have that flash available for a little while, at least. Red's going to take a little bit of heat after Big Jado makes an appearance in... Oh, that wasn't Big Jado. My mistake, but we do have another party down here in the bot lane. It's going to be Hawkster probably going down once again. Miensfo going to find himself on the kill feed this time, getting himself his first kill of the game after finding himself making a lot of plays with 4 assists. Active Force and Miensfo, the two tankier support players here in this situation, with 1 kill and 4 assists respectively. And I'm sitting here looking to call Uber a tank, but maybe not necessarily the case when he feels like he's a damage dealer in the end. But we do see Frez did get ulted upon here by Hex Knight, but just going to be a small trade and kind of just move away. Of course, the Nivea does have that passive, or if it doesn't get eliminated in a long time, we'll just drop into an egg form instead. Basically making it so you have to kill her twice. So Frez, yes, low on mana, low on health, probably just going to back out in this situation. Sure enough, it looks like it's going to be the case. But wasn't feeling too threatened, especially since his teammates were nearby in that spot. Party time bot lane, it's going to be Hawkster eating the snowball, but at least they're close enough to the turret that they'll be fine in this situation. And it ought to be irritating here if you're Big Jado and Hawkster, because it feels like Active Force is always right there, got their number. Whenever they want to try and do something, they get shut down. They're not even trying to do anything right now. They're trying to be passive and just try to farm this out, and yet still, Active Force is right there just to remind them that, hey, you even move forward a little bit. We already know Miensfo and Lassie can basically combo you themselves. I'm just here for a little extra assistance if necessary. And very similar situation up here to the top lane, but this time Link is going to go up top. Nard away. That's such a huge ultimate, stunning up both of them. This is going to be the second week or second day in a row that he's going to turn around a 1v2 and somehow be on the positive end of it. Frez is here for backup as well, but unfortunately not going to find elimination out of the case there. Kubra again outnumbered, but not or unfazed at all. Bot lane getting jumped on here as well. Lassie doing as much damage as possible. Spin to win all over the place. Double kill bot lane. It's going to be, again, another kill over to Lassie, another kill over to Active Force. And now they have so much time to clear out vision and then also take themselves a plate. The teleport coming out, actually. This is going to be from Max Chief, actually. What is he trying to do here? Just scares everybody away. Look to maybe try and get some shutdown golds from Lassie, but Miensfo would have just knocked him aside in that situation. So granted, He did stop the tower from taking more damage. But now the tower that would have been taking damage down in the bot lane is now basically just going to happen up in the top lane. Kubra has all the time in the world now. Has pound away on this turret. So we do see it's at least one plate going into his pocket. Max Chief is going to get saved in this situation by the unlucky wall coming out here from Frez. That actually stopped the snowball just a moment too soon. And Max Chief going to have to go all the way up top. One more plate in the pocket here for Kubra. And this is going to be painful here for Link. He's going to get stunned up. Is there any sort of follow-up, however? Does have Frez available, but it's a bit of an awkward spot here. Does not have any cooldowns available. X-Knight nearly going down, but not quite going to do it. Of course, Anivia's damage is all in bursts, plus the little blizzard that, of course, just kind of slowly ticks over time. If you can't kill him in the burst, you're probably not going to. And situations like this happen where there's so many members with low HP, but you just could not get one more icicle out of those wings to finish the job. Up in the top lane, it's almost the same old song and dance, just a different champion there for Max Chief. Nearly getting doubled here in regards to his CS count. And Dragon on board once again here for St. Clair to take. We do see Active Force already there about halfway through as well. Going to clean this up. Nobody on the side of Worcester is going to be there to contest in this situation. Cleans it up, takes it down. Successful Dragon 2. Kubra does have Mega Form available if he does end up wanting to use it. It's a bit of an awkward spot, though. He'd be forcing a tower dive in that situation. Active Force down here once again. Lassie's just going to make Big Jado's life in a living hell, but actually Hawkster, he is going to be able to turn one, actually. And actually, to be honest, this is looking really good here for Worcester. There's going to be a double kill over to Hawkster. Can Big Jado help Active Force in this or help Hawkster to take down Active Force? The Seraphine's here as well. Hex Knight possibly looking to try and get involved in this kill, but is not going to be able to catch Active Force. So finally, one of the pieces of aggression here from Saints do not go in their favor. Worcester going to get themselves on the board finally after 12 minutes of this game. And then they try to jump onto Frez, and oh gosh, you're definitely regretting it after that. Frez's going to have to flash over his own wall. A little bit of style points to take down Link. Finally, it's 2 kills in the bank here for Worcester, but it's too little too late, and it went on to the support. Granted, Set can be rather tanky at times, can still do some decent damage at times. But you know that's got to be kicking him at least a little bit here, but at the same time, Big Jado was in a bit of an awkward spot. A little bit of a misplay in regards to the combo, but they are going to still be able to at least get something going here. The charm coming out here from Hex Knight going to possibly put enough heat onto Mansfo. Not quite enough in this situation. Kubra, once again, in the 1v1 here up against Max Chief. A back and forth engage. The two beasts going at it. And it's actually rather even, but I think Max Chief may have overextended just ever so slightly. Ran out of cooldowns. Kubra 3 going to find himself another 1v1 kill here up on Max Chief to give him his 3rd kill and to give Max Chief his 3rd death. And that top turret is not going to be long for this world. There goes the blue buff as well. Finally, give the bird a blue, and that'll be a happy bird. Sitting at 1 kill for every minute in this game. Hopefully for the side of Worcester, they can farm this out a little bit, because in regards to CS, a lot of them aren't that far behind with the exception of top lane. But just the amount of eliminations and assists on the board for St. Clair is definitely a problem, as we have about a 7,000 gold lead right now in the pocket of St. Clair. But we have a party down in the bot. This time it's going to be the 3-on-2 in the favor of Worcester, but we do see the teleport coming in. Who is coming down? This is going to be Kubra 3 coming through. Hawks are up in the top side. They're focusing Link as of this moment, but as the sleep hits Lassie, going to try and flash away from the turret, so it's going to go net neutral. Nobody going to go down here in this situation. But the mid laners have arrived. Hawkster is in an interesting position, to say the least. Lassie going to clean that up for free. There's Frez, of course, right here. The Seraphine of Hex Knight is here to try and defend as well. But when you have Cooper 3, your Mega Gnar form, he gets jumped in and going to try and throw him aside right into the wall. This is exactly what he needed to do. Lines him up. Big Jado's day gets that much more worse alongside Hex Knight. And is he going to keep going towards Link? Maybe not, but that's A-okay. Take those kills, take the turret, go get your items, and get ready for what I would assume be a dragon sometime shortly here. Sure enough, that's exactly what they're going to do, as we now have over 8,000 and counting. Golden lead. Oh, and Shelly's coming to play here in the mid lane too. Massive, massive damage towards that mid lane turret. And this is going to be a dead Hawkster again here, getting stuck between everybody. Between Shelly, between a bull, a Yeti, a bird, and one one big Shelly girl. A bad place to be. And not even that inhibitor turret just took so much damage. Massive value on that Shelly. Gold lead has now extended to 10k. Saints looking like they're going to run away with this one. There's so many plays being set up across the board, and it looks like as of right now, Miansfo, of the 16 kills, he's been a part of 10 of them, setting them up in one way or another. All over the place. Sure, Lassie's got himself 5 eliminations. Frez has 4. Uber has 3, but they're all on Max Chief. There is just a lot of winning going on right now for the Saints side of things. Dragon's available. We might have ourselves a 5-on-5 actually here. The first little chunk going to Max Chief. That's supposed to be your tank. And they nearly got one shot by Frez. One more shot actually is going to do it here. Oddly enough, just Worcester just not on the same page in the slightest. Hawkster's all by himself. Going to try and slam down, but it's going to be too little, too late. Actiforce is going to be the only casualty for St. Clair as of this moment. Miansfo taking the dragon, however, could find himself in trouble. Akuba 3 did not have his teleport in the situation. Frez does get a little bit overzealous. Is going to be sent down into his egg form. And Miansfo, he has no health, but he doesn't care. He's just diving on in. Big Jado is not long for this world. And that spared Frez enough time to get himself respawned from his egg form as well. Hex Knight is going to be bounced upon. Give him a little boop on the head like a Goomba, why don't you? And that's kind of the funny thing. You just wanted to jump towards him, but of course he had the Mega Form availables. And then Hex Knight, he is not going to be long for this world, but can he take Miansfo down here with them? Solid headbutt away from Max Chief, who has returned, is going to find himself for the first time on the proper side of the kill feed. And now Kubra's stuck between a rock and a hard place, but that's okay. He's got a boomerang. He can still make himself available. An extended back and forth, and Saints are absolutely blazing it in the kill feed right here, right now, as the dragon is the next thing on the table. Actiforce going to basically get that for free. Frez getting jumped on. He doesn't have the egg this time. He's got to be careful, but they're sitting in his blizzard, and that's going to be a double. Going over towards the Saints. Cooper 3 right here, right now. The Mega Gnar in the last possible second to give him some additional HP. Absolutely baiting the squad. Hex Knight's the only one left on the squad alive. And the hopes and dreams of Worcester winning this game just seems to be going downhill. That's going to be an inhibitor turret going down. Frez has returned after using his teleports. Does Hex Knight Seraphine want to try and take on 3? I definitely would not want to deal with it. Inhibitors secured in this situation. Go back, get your items. Baron A is actually around the corner here. Saints probably going to get some vision and point their focus towards that top of the river objective, towards that Baron pit. Poor Hawkster in the chat sends something over to Saints. Says, hey, don't worry, we scale, right? I mean, they kind of do, but this is definitely quite the deficit. 40k to 26k is definitely not the world you want to be in here if you're Worcester. Max Chief going to be going down. Frez is legendary in this game, 8-0 right now. Now this is fine and dandy. Yes, Saints are constantly finding kills and finding objectives. But can they actually finish things off here? You don't want to let this go too long. Because yes, the Worcester squad are not wrong. They very well could scale if this does go long enough, if Saints end up playing with their food a little bit. But we'll have to see how the Saints take this now. They got the Baron uncontested. Now where did they go from here? Of course, Super Minions going to be pounding away on that mid lane for the foreseeable future while that inhibitor is down. Everybody on the Saints with the exception of Frez at this moment, and looks like Active Force as well, making their way towards this top turret. Of course, when you're all baroned up, that cannon minion gets a ton of additional range. You can kind of support it a little bit, and you can see it's just chipping away at this. It is quick or slow as it does. Bit of a mixed bag here in the jungle. Split off here. Frez looking to try and make the one-on-one onto Hawkster. But we probably need Frez closer towards the fight as it happens on in. Here comes the Gnar. Kubra with the double into the wall. Max Chief and Frez in a bit of an awkward spot, but here comes Active Force for the support. Takes care of his bird friend. Takes care of Frez. And Hawkster is not going to be long for this world either. As he's spinning around all over the place. Cooper 3's already in the base. Going to just try and take down Hex Knight. The last remaining threat in the base as of this moment. Hex Knight's just going to run for the hills in this situation. And then major, crazy, decisive game number 2 is going to put St. Clair in the W column to start off this cLoL season if they actually hit the Nexus. And there it goes. Of course, St. Clair now to take this 2-0. Holy moly. That. In order to, I mean, I'm supposed to be staying neutral, but I gotta call a spade a spade. That was an absolute slaughterfest in the favor of St. Clair this time by. Everybody on Saints just popped right off one way or another. Yansvo was supporting everybody consistently. Same thing alongside Active Force. Found himself 11 assists in this game, 2 kills for himself. Of course, Yansvo, like I was saying, 13 assists and 3 kills for himself. Lazi, absolute threat. Frez was an absolute threat. Even Kubra, who's supposed to be, again, he's supposed to be the tank, and is an absolute threat to this squad. I see Nutty Gnar constantly here in the chat. I definitely need to look into an emote of some sort for that, because that was definitely accurate, to say the least. Now, Worcester, of course, still early on here in this cLoL season, so hopefully you can see them spin it around and see them again sometime in the very near future. Of course, GG's nonetheless. And I will give... I was going to say I'll give credit, but I looked at the score wrong. But they definitely tried their damnedest, but just everybody fell behind. And I know, say, you're in Link's position, if you're in the jungler's position in that game, I had mentioned before, like, what do you do in this situation? There was no good answer for him, to say the least. There was absolutely nothing it felt like he could have done to make that work. And it definitely hurt, to say the least. But we'll hopefully... for the next time, they'll be able to take care of it. But for now, that's the match ending. But of course, still do want to give a couple of thank yous, of course, once again to our sponsors, St. Clair College, the Zuckelman School of Information Technology, PC Outlet, St. Clair College Alumni Association, the St. Clair College SRC, and of course, Tim Hortons. Thank you all for making this varsity team possible, and looking forward to more and more matches here. Because of the broadcasts he's allow us, or not allow us, but help us get. Then, of course, big thank you to everybody tuning in here today. I saw there was about 30 some odd people in the chat have been rather active here today. Always a pleasure broadcasting for all of you. Thank you for coming in and tuning in and supporting your friends, family, your classmates, or just your college or university's program. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel today. That being said, there's still so much more action here on the Saints Gaming CA channel right around the corner, so be sure to follow our channel here on Saints Gaming CA. Of course, your home for the St. Clair Saints varsity esports team. Later on tonight, Rainbow Six Siege action up against Ryerson University in the R6 Collegiate Championship. That one might get hosted by the Ryerson Esports Twitch channel, but either way, we will host the channel, so if you do come back to us later on, you'll get directed to the proper place. Then tomorrow, 5 p.m., Base It CSGO returns once again. Then we have Thursday and Friday, that's the Collegiate Cold War, or Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War CCL kickoff tournament starting at 6 p.m. on Thursday, and then day 2 of that tournament, if we do end up making it, is going to be Friday at 7 p.m. And as of right now, then January 30th, we'll be back with some more Rainbow Six Siege action, and we'll go from there, because of course, February, I'll tell you what, it's about to get nuts. All of these games, all these teams that we have here for the St. Clair Saints basically gets back underway within the first 2 weeks of February. You can start expecting 7 days of one broadcast at least every week for the foreseeable future. It's going to be a fun time, and that's going to be a lot of content, and you may not be able to catch it all, but if you do want to be able to get all of the matches, all the VODs on demand, be sure to drop that Twitch Prime. Drop a sub here on the channel, and get some emotes too while you're at it. Of course, massive collection here of matches, all available to you at a click away. And that being said, if you are still wanting to watch the matches, but maybe not necessarily in a position to sub as A-OK, reruns are constantly going to be being played here on the Saints Gaming CA, or on the Saints Gaming CA Twitch channel, and you'll be able to catch them that way. You do not have to be a sub to watch the reruns, so all is good there. But for now, we'll close out here for tonight. I'll see you all in a little bit for Rainbow Six Siege action on Ryerson's channel. And my name is Dan Banner, also known as Mr. Danners. Thanks for spending the afternoon here with me. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you in a little bit.